Good morning, dear Christians and dear Catholics. Today, I want to reflect further on the reflection on the sign of the cross by Father Francis Reply on his book, Explanation of the Catholic Faith. The most frequently used sacramental and one of the most important is the sign of the cross. It takes various forms, all having in common the gesture of tracing two lines, intersecting at right angles to indicate symbolically the figure of Christ's cross. Such a gesture is obviously a profession of faith. It reminds us of the Blessed Trinity by the words that are used. It reminds us of the death of Christ by the very form that is used. It indicates belief in the most basic doctrines of Christianity, the unity and Trinity of God, the incarnation and the redemption of mankind by the eternal Son of God. The sign of the cross dates from apostolic times. In the 2nd century, Tertullian wrote of it as follows: "In all our travels and movements, in all our comings in and goings out, in putting on our shoes, at the bath, at the table, in lighting our candles, in lying down, in sitting, whatever employment occupies us, we mark our foreheads with the sign of the cross." Of the cross as a gesture of blessing, St. Cyril of Jerusalem wrote in the 4th century, "Let us then not be ashamed to confess the crucified. Be the cross our seal, made with boldness by our fingers on our brow and in everything, over the bread we eat, the cups we drink, in our comings in and in our goings out, before our sleep, when we lie down and when we awake, when we are traveling and when we rest." Today, the sign of the cross is used continuously in worship, over 50 times in the holy sacrifice of Mass, 14 times in administering baptism, regularly in divine office, and as a symbol of blessing. It appears on almost everything used in God's service: altars, linen, churches, books, etc. In our personal devotions, we should make it morning and evening, before and after all our prayers, before and after meals, in temptation, in bodily dangers, and before every important action or undertaking. A patriot signifies his loyalty by saluting his country's flag. Catholics must manifest their loyalty to Christ by making the sign of the cross. It is a sign of faith. As we have seen, it is also a sign of hope, a reminder that all blessings come to us by the cross. It is a sign of charity, symbolizing our love for the Lord, our God, who died for us on the cross. The saints have called the sign of the cross a reminder of the price of our redemption, for Christ redeemed us on the cross. The book of God's wisdom, because it shows the greatness of His love, the malice of sin, the misery of hell, and the value of souls before God. and the mirror of virtues. For through his cross, Jesus gives us such examples of humility, patience, forgiveness, obedience, courage, generosity, etc. Therefore, we should never be afraid of making the sign of the cross. We should always make it with reverence, devotion, and care. We should think often of its meaning. We should always respect the cross in any form. Happy Feast of the Exaltation of the Cross.